Hello and welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. It's World Habitat Day, so we're showcasing government's efforts to improve the lives of persons living in informal settlements. We'll also provide an update of plans to improve the island's business environment. But before we get to those and other features, here's a roundup of the latest news-making stories.
No one is above the law. We encourage all Jamaicans to join the fight against corruption, organized criminality, these nefarious activities that stymies our country's progress. I want to encourage all Jamaicans to call. We have a secure line, 1-800-CORRUPT. Call anytime and we will treat the information received with the highest standard of confidentiality. We need your help. We want to elicit your support.
Call 1-800-CORRUPT. That's 1-800-267-7878. Be the change. Report corruption today.
Good day, I'm Tamara McHale and this is your GIS News for Monday, October 6. Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller is calling for private sector support of government's cleanup efforts towards the control and containment of the chikungunya virus.
I want to appeal to private sector companies that the communities in which they operate, they should partner with the people in the community and assist to clean up those communities.
Mrs. Simpson Miller was speaking on the weekend as she spearheaded cleanup activities in her Southwest St. Andrew constituency. The Prime Minister was joined by Digicel, the Ministry of Health, KSAC, NSWMA and other entities. She welcomed reports that other parliamentarians, including the Leader of the Opposition, would be joining efforts to rid communities of mosquito breeding sites.
I think if we set the example and lay the foundation, it will happen across the country. Because people really love to see their surroundings clean, and we should encourage them to do that, to clean up their surroundings and to keep it clean.
Meanwhile, Health Minister Dr. Fenton Ferguson says government will be spending more money to fight the spread of CHIKV. Last Thursday, government announced an additional $150 million allocation, and on Saturday, Minister Ferguson revealed that even more funds would go towards a national cleanup campaign.
This is not the formal big program that we are planning now, because that will be coordinated by the Chief Secretariat. We await the rollout of the overall national program, which will be coordination with the local authorities, the mayors, led by the mayors, the custodies in parishes, the private sector.
Details of the national cleanup campaign will be unveiled this week. Ground has been broken for the construction of an early stimulation intervention center in Orange Bay, Portland. The center, which will be constructed at a cost of $30 million, is the result of a partnership between the Ministry of Labor and Social Security and the Digicel Foundation. It will accommodate up to 100 special needs students from 0 to 8 years, and 10 teachers will be based at the facility.
We anticipate that with a center permanently located in this community, residents will now benefit fully from the community-based rehabilitation, assessment, counseling and parenting workshops that will be offered.
The Early Stimulation Intervention Center in Portland forms part of the Early Stimulation Program in the Labor Ministry, which caters to children with disabilities. Dolphin sector stakeholders are being given additional time to submit their comments on the Green Paper, which outlines the proposal for the management of the industry. The Green Paper on the dolphin policy for Jamaica is under revision to be submitted to Cabinet for approval. Speaking at the third stakeholder consultation on the draft policy, Chief Technical Director in the Environment Ministry, Lieutenant Colonel Oral Khan, said all comments would be given serious consideration. The draft policy seeks to address the management of dolphins in Jamaican waters, the trading of dolphins, and the regulation of dolphin attractions. The Green Paper on the policy may be accessed from public libraries as well as the website of the Ministry of Water, Land, Environment and Climate Change and NEPA's web portal. And finally, with the environment being the natural foundation on which Jamaica's economy is built, the Finance Ministry is playing its role in the climate change campaign. A team headed by the Director General participated in National Tree Planting Day activities last Friday on the Finance Ministry's compound.
The significance of planting this blue maho tree is to assist in climate change, to arrest the degradation of the environment. Eventually it has an effect on the economy in terms of degradation, and we think it's very important that we maintain the climate and therefore maintain the economic productivity of the country.
National Tree Planting Day was observed on October 3 under the theme, Adapting to Climate Change, Secure Our Future, Plant a Tree Today. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Tamara McHale. Thanks for watching.
Householders, business people, school administrators, protect yourself and your children from the chikungunya virus. Be on the alert. Help control the mosquito population. Chikungunya is a virus transmitted by the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which breeds in and around your home, workplace, and school. Destroy breeding sites. Empty old tires and all other containers where water can settle. Bore holes in old cans. Cover water drums and garbage cans. Wash flower pots and vases and clean pet dishes regularly. Protect yourself from mosquito bites. Cover your body as much as possible and use mosquito repellent containing DEET. And if you're experiencing symptoms of chikungunya, a sudden high fever, headache, rash, nausea, pain, stiffness, or severe joint pains, see your doctor or go to the nearest health center.
Facilitating the economic empowerment of women, EVNA's work continues to systematically expose and correct gender disparities and inequality. Last week, Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller committed her administration to female empowerment during an International Monetary Fund seminar on women work and the Jamaican economy. That story, plus others, come your way next in Jamaica House Weekly.
Government pumps more money into CHIKV eradication campaign. Prime Minister cautions children about the use of tablets received from the government and leveraging the commercial opportunities of the sport industry. I'm Simone Wolf with Jamaica House Weekly. On Saturday, Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller led the charge towards ridding the country of the chikungunya virus by carrying out cleanup activities in her constituency of Southwest St. Andrew. While thanking private sector organizations such as Digicel for its support of the cleanup campaign, Mrs. Simpson-Miller called on more companies to join the effort.
I want to appeal to private sector companies that the communities in which they operate, they should partner with the people in the community and assist to clean up those communities.
Earlier in the week, the Prime Minister led a technical meeting of the island's National Emergency Response Team at Jamaica House. She authorized the allocation of $150 million more to fight the spread of the chikungunya virus. She also told the team to be thorough and consistent in the planning, implementation and public communication of the ongoing national response. And the team discussed plans for the national cleanup campaign, which is to be unveiled this week. On Wednesday, Mrs. Simpson-Miller concerned herself with another disease. This time, she met with health officials to review the threat of the Ebola virus. Coming out of those discussions, the Ministry of Health heightened surveillance at all ports of entry to screen and assess passengers traveling from Ebola-affected countries. The ministry said it would also continue to distribute health warning messages at all ports of entry. In addition to staff training on how to deal with the Ebola virus, a special treatment center has been established and all hospitals have identified isolation rooms. Jamaica's heightened response to the Ebola virus followed reports last week that the American state of Texas had reported its first case. As government continued the rollout of its $1.4 billion Tablets in Schools pilot program last week, Prime Minister Simpson Miller reminded children that the devices were only for educational purposes.
I want to warn the children against posting things on YouTube. These tablets are for educational purposes, nothing else. And I'm going to warn the parents to monitor your children, what they have or put on these tablets.
The Prime Minister was speaking at the Haile Selassie High School on Monday, where 840 students received their tablets. The Prime Minister also spoke on women's issues this past week at an International Monetary Fund seminar on women, work and the economy. Mrs. Simpson Miller reaffirmed Jamaica's commitment to the economic empowerment of women. This, she said, would be done by methodologically exposing and correcting gender disparities and inequality.
The Jamaican government is committed to gender equity and has put in place policies and legislation that foster greater participation of women in the country's economic life.
Prime Minister Simpson Miller endorsed the ongoing redevelopment of downtown Kingston last week by dispatching Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites to unveil the Evolution Monument at the Breezy Castle roundabout. The monument was commissioned by telecoms provider Digicel Jamaica for its foundation's 10th anniversary celebrations.
Through its commitment of giving back, Digicel has positively impacted the lives of hundreds of thousands of Jamaicans. In fact, focusing on the areas of education, community development and special needs, the Digicel Foundation has invested over 19.5 million United States dollars, directly impacting over 446,000 beneficiaries through 447 projects all across Jamaica.
And Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller last Thursday took some time out to show her gratitude to the island's senior netballers, the Sunshine Girls. During a courtesy call at Jamaica House, she presented the team with checks in honor of their stellar performance at the recent Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, Scotland. The team, through Captain Nicole Aiken-Pinnock, thanked the Prime Minister, the Sport Development Foundation and Minister Natalie Nita Headley for their continued support of netball. Meanwhile, government improved its chances of garnering more revenue from the sport industry with Wednesday's launch of Jamaica Sport. The program is a partnership between the Ministries of Sport and Tourism and Entertainment and will see the implementation of a major sport attraction initiative.
The guidelines for hosting international events are clearly defined. They are now before the National Sport Council for ratification. These guidelines will form the basis of how we operate jointly in seeking to attract international events.
The program is being financed by the Tourism Enhancement Fund and involves input from several government and private institutions. And that's it for this week's edition of Jamaica House Weekly. Join us next time for the latest stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Welcome to the FSC Minute. I am Nadine Newsom. Today, we continue to explore issues related to insurance, and my guest is Rosemary Henry, Senior Director of Insurance with the FSC. Welcome to the FSC Minute, Miss Henry.
Thank you, Nadine.
Miss Henry, how do I verify who is a sales representative?
Registered sales representatives are required to have a valid identification card or registration certificate from the FSC. Where these are not available, the sales representative should have a letter under the signature of the registrar of the FSC indicating that they have been approved and the class of business that they can sell. If you are in doubt, contact the FSC.
Ms. Henry, my insurance sales representative is suggesting that I surrender an existing policy in favor of a new one. Should I do this?
You should think carefully before doing this. You should ensure that you are exchanging your policy for one with additional benefit that is better suited to your current circumstances. Also keep in mind that sales representatives who suggest the person to surrender their policy and purchase a new one for the benefit of the sales representative may be guilty of an offense. These persons may also be declared not fit and proper to sell insurance business.
Thank you, Ms. Henry. My guest today was Rosemary Henry, Senior Director of Insurance at the FSC. For the FSC Minute, I am Nadine Newsom.
But when the man returned from Masperty's house, they had a very surprising story to tell. They said that almost all of his roof had been blown off by the heavy winds, and him and his family were holed up in the master's bedroom. There, Masperty, his wife, their grandchildren, and the family cow Bucky were all hanging from a rope attached to the ceiling. Bucky looked just exhausted as everyone else in the family.
Want to hear more of Bucky the cow and the family caught in the hurricane? Then contact the JIS Research Department to purchase this and all your other Heritage Month publications.
Government is not only concerned about the empowerment of women, it concerns itself with all players within the country. And one sure way of empowering every Jamaican to reach his or her full potential is by improving the business environment. The latest initiative is a $50 million project dubbed Foundations for Competitiveness and Growth. Take a look.
Transforming the Jamaican economy through the Economic Reform Program, government has been making steady progress. Part of the strategy involves a process of fiscal consolidation, a policy to reduce debt. At the end of the 2013-2014 fiscal year, Jamaica's debt to gross domestic product (GDP) ratio stood at 139%, down from 147%. In simple terms, for every dollar of goods we produce, we used to owe $1.47, and now it's $1.39. As good as that is, the administration is determined to go beyond that.
If we are to sustain hope in the population, if we are to deliver real benefits, it means that we're going to have to strengthen the country's capacity to grow.
And so, with the help of the World Bank, government recently launched the Foundations for Competitiveness and Growth project. For the next 3 years, the World Bank and the Government of Jamaica will be working together on a country partnership strategy.
The context of the program is very simple. Public sector modernization, enabling the environment for private sector-led growth, which we're talking about today, and 3, social and climate resilience.
3 loan agreements valued at $105 million were signed on September 2, 2014, during the Finance Minister's visit to Washington in the United States. $50 million of that amount will go towards the Foundations for Competitiveness and Growth program. The initiative, which will run until June 2020, is being coordinated by the Development Bank of Jamaica and the Jamaica Promotions JAMPRO and is being implemented by the Planning Institute of Jamaica.
This project aims to strengthen the business environment in Jamaica for private sector investment. New and existing businesses will benefit from streamlined regulations and processes, opportunities for public-private partnerships, as well as training and access to financing.
The private sector's role as the engine of growth must be grounded in a modern partnership with the state, and in this regard, the state should enable, facilitate, and complement private sector efforts, and do so in a manner that obviates the normal and natural, I suppose, negative externalities.
And so the government is using every tool available to create an environment for private sector-led growth. For example, it has implemented measures to reduce bureaucracy, like the introduction of a single form for self-employed persons to file their tax returns, and a business registration super form at the Companies Office of Jamaica to provide a one-stop shop for people who want to register their businesses. Now, under the Foundations for Competitiveness and Growth program, businesses will have access to more money to help them develop.
It will provide resources for private businesses, private firms to undertake feasibility or pre-feasibility studies in relation to strategic investment projects that they may be embarked upon. It will facilitate the development of what I will call loosely technical studies for critical sectors that the country may choose to emphasize as part of its growth strategy.
Sectors such as agriculture, information and communications technology, the creative industries, major infrastructure projects, and the logistics hub initiative.
The resources will be lent through AFIs, including Exim Bank, and so there will be an opportunity for these enterprises to enter the formal financial system, which ultimately will take them, we hope, as we consolidate our fiscal environment, will take them out of a reliance, so to speak, on special lines and get the financial system also into the situation where they will be extending credit at competitive rates.
Through the Foundations for Competitiveness and Growth project, special emphasis will also be placed on micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs, an extremely important component of any economy.
25 of the $50 million of the project is for SMEs, direct support, through matching grants and line allocations in their lines of credit.
The Private Sector Organization of Jamaica is endorsing the initiative.
Things like this will finally allow us to tackle critical areas affecting our ability to be competitive and grow the economy.
The Government of Jamaica, working on a number of initiatives to enable private sector-led growth, implementing the Foundations for Competitiveness and Growth project to achieve Goal 3 of Vision 2030, a prosperous Jamaican economy.
The first Monday in October each year is observed as World Habitat Day. The day calls for us to reflect on the state of our living spaces and on the basic right of all to adequate shelter. For this year's commemoration, the focus is on listening to the voices from slums, persons who've lived and are living in informal settlements. As evidenced in this next feature, government is focused on providing Jamaicans with suitable living conditions, inclusive of water, proper sanitation, and most important, security of tenure.
A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view.
As the youngest recipient of one of these homes, it is quite a difficult task to fully articulate the significance of this achievement. This is an opportunity for me and my family to improve our life.
At the tender age of 22, Shanika Thompson is living the dream of most Jamaicans, home ownership. Thompson and 47 other residents of Majesty Gardens in St. Andrew have now joined a growing number of low-income earners getting keys to a place called home. The dream fulfilled was made possible by the newly remodeled inner city housing project undertaken by the National Housing Trust. The houses were handed over during a recent ceremony, and plans are far advanced to deliver even more houses to communities along Spanish Town Road.
Getting a key to your home is not just a matter of gaining access to a certain space or to certain facilities. It is a key to a whole new life.
This is the new face of the inner city. 16 three-bedroom and 32 two-bedroom apartments, all enclosed in a gated community with all the perks attached.
When we hand over these units today, we will be handing over more than 4 walls. What we will be doing is opening doors to new opportunities. That will make Majesty Garden be truly majestic.
With some 1,200 families assisted along the Spanish Town Road corridor, there's a push to provide more houses to Jamaica's poor.
we are seeking to provide good, decent housing, and we are doing so as much as we can to make it affordable.
The goal is to empower citizens to be the best versions of themselves.
You too have a place in the society. You are valuable Jamaicans. You too deserve decent housing, and more importantly, you too have a part to play in the advancement and development of our country.
And when residents' lives improve, communities improve, as there are more effective governance structures, internal dispute resolution, and even greater civic pride seen in residents.
So nice, I got you.
I'm kiss them, I'm comfortable in this one. So when I tell them I feel good, understand? For the long work I put on over the years and contribute to church, just get a key, a place called home.
I will no longer be afraid or embarrassed to invite a friend to visit because I'm terrified they might ask, can I use your restroom? Or simply do not want them to know where I live.
It's better to pay some mortgage than pay rent. But one of my greatest joy and moment is for the kids them. I'm happy to get at home, but for the benefit of the kids.
I am so happy, I'm so excited. Trust me, I couldn't ask for more. God is good.
So good, so good.
When I hear my name called, I'm so excited. And the kids them too excited and feel good about it. So I'm going to have them new home, them inside bathroom, everything nice.
I thank I thank my workplace because without a job, I wouldn't own a house.
Even as residents celebrated their achievements, there were gentle reminders along the way.
Take care of your space, and I'm gonna beg you to live in peace and harmony. Let love reign in Majestic Gardens.
The real project will start when you all move into your new homes and begin to make decisions about how to manage the complex so that it remains a beacon for all to see.
Look forward to keep the place as house is clean and nice, maintain it right and pay your bills and everything, that's carpet and keep the thing nice.
That work has already begun as the newly formed Citizens Association renamed Majesty Gardens Phase 1 the Portia Simpson Miller Meadows. With the foundation set, the 48-unit strata community is now on its way to being a source of inspiration for other underdeveloped corporate area communities.
Be an active participant in your child's life. Spend time with your child. No phones, no television, no distractions, just the two of you.
Just the two of us.
Get to know your child through play. Why not go to the park and get on the monkey bars? Sharing a meal can also be a time of bonding. If your child's in school, be involved in school activities. Speak with your child's teacher, follow up on their progress in school and see how you can help. Assist them with homework. Attend parent-teacher meetings and support school fundraising events. Remember, your child's future is in your hands. Safeguard it.
So glad you are a child of mine.
And that's our show. Have comments or queries? Then email us, jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. You may also keep in touch through our YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook pages. Want to watch this and other programs in full? Visit our website, jis.gov.jm. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.